For years, Florida State has distinguished itself for having some of the best athletics in the nation.
The Florida State have won their first national championship.
Touchdown, Florida State.
Back in the late 1960s, a group of student athletes came to FSU and set this standard of excellence.
There was no money, no resources. There were no distractions. All we had was school and playing basketball and training and things like that. So I don't think I watched TV for 4 years.
Meanwhile, social unrest was unfolding around the country.
Again, 68, Martin Luther King was assassinated. Bobby Kennedy assassinated shortly thereafter. So that's what was going on in the country. So now you've got this microcosm here at Florida State where there's a distinction.
And, you know, there was still the Vietnam War, a real war going on that people got drafted into. There was no choice. Nobody volunteered to go into service.
For the 1969 basketball team in particular, the adversities of the time challenged them in ways that they once would have never imagined.
I'm from Ohio, and of course, you know, the North politically is a little different than the South. But when I came South, it was more blatant in terms of the racism. It was more blatant. My freshman year, I received numerous death threats, threatening letters to leave Florida State, to get out of here. It was devastating.
Daily, I got reminded that I was an African American on this campus, either internally or externally. And the South had rules. You know, there were certain rules and norms that, you know, you wanted to not cross, you wanted to kind of stay in your lane.
Florida State was one of the first universities to recruit African American basketball players, thanks to 29-year-old head coach Hugh Durham.
I mean, here's this young guy recruiting all these African American kids to play at this lily white school. Might have had 300 black students on campus, 300, maybe. He's the guy that's not opening doors, he's literally busting them, kicking them down.
Hugh Durham recruited me, and I didn't know, at that time it was a statement that I made. In fact, I didn't even know the situation that the coaches was going through with threats from their friends and colleagues.
What I've tried to do is get the best players and best people that wanted to come to Florida State. Now, Dave Callens happened to be a Caucasian, and Skip Young happened to be African American. Both of them could play, and both of them are good people, and both of them have done well.
With tensions at a constant high, many members on the team took on the responsibility to stand up and fight for social justice.
You know, we were conscious. We weren't laid-back athletes. John Burt ended up being third president of the Black Student Union. We all were active with Black Student Union. We were all active on campus in terms of various protests or whatnot.
But the struggles only made them stronger as a unit.
Things were a little tough outside of the basketball court, outside of our locker room, outside of Sally Hall. That's what made our team special for me, because that's where I found my comfort. That's where I found my repose.
But the thing that really held us together is we actually liked each other. And in order to be a good team and to do well, you have to be able to get along with your teammates and hang out together and just really love each other, pick up each other's back, and just be there when you need each other. So that's one of the most things that I think about, is just the togetherness that we had and the way we stuck together. And when you got that, if you got talent to go along with it, you can't help but be a good team.
The current success of FSU's athletics program would not be possible without the impact left by those that came before.
I think we dispelled some stereotypes. Not every African American is a gangbanger. You know, we're not illiterate. We're smart. We are productive members of society.
It was such a pleasure to play here because of the teammates I had. It wasn't about being black, it was about being a teammate.
I think it's good for whoever might see this, players that are playing now, to know a little bit more about the history, what you should stand for.
As the legacy of Florida State continues to grow, it is important to remember and pay tribute to all of those who laid the foundation for what it truly means to be a Seminole. I'm Lauren Swertfeger for Seminole Sports Magazine.